Hey guys, this is my 2018 go bag slash get home bag. I watch these videos all the time, and I thought I'd do a video of my own. Um, First off, I'm gonna say that obviously everyone has their own opinion on things. Everyone has their own skill set. Everyone lives in a different environment and culture and whatnot. Um, so before you go, saying everything in there is just stupid and redundant and everything else, just keep in mind, like on any video in general, that not everyone's the same. Not everyone has the same medical conditions. Everyone says the same environment, same skill set, all that. So when people do their bags, like videos of their bags, it's all tailored to them. Doesn't say it's the best bag for everybody in every situation. It's just for what that person thinks that they're going to encounter in their everyday life, or what best suits them for their comfort and skill set and everything else. So saying that, we'll get into it. This bag that I'm running is the Kanai Phalanx. I can never pronounce that, but Kanai Phalanx. It's a very, very good bag. I've had it about 6 to 8 months now. I love everything about it. Mostly, the only thing I don't like is I wish it had an admin pouch, just for a little more organization and things like that. A little bit smaller because it all has pretty much just like I think 3 pockets. On the main pockets, it has this little one here, a pouch here, and then the main compartment here. It does have a side pocket and a sleeve. This is extra. I'll get into that later. But at the same time, like I said, I wish it did have an admin pouch. Other than that, for the most part, everything's perfect about it. It's a great material. It's got great grab handles. This one on top is very sturdy. It's nice rubberized textured. It's very comfortable in the hand. It has several of these little attachment points. There's like one here, 2 here. There's 2 on the inside, a couple on the side and the back. They're all over the place in case you want to attach things. And with that same thing, there's obviously Molly across the front here, all the way down the length of the bag on both sides. Excuse me. Like I said, it's just a great overall bag, and I like it because it's not too tactical. It is like a tactical bag, but it doesn't really stand out like a multicam, crazy looking whatever. But it is, looking at it, it does look somewhat tactical, but it doesn't stick out too much because it is mostly all black. But anyway, getting to that, I'll kind of start with I'll start with the outside and work my way in. On this front here, I just have this little 511 tactical pin light. It's probably the oldest flashlight I still haven't used. It's not gonna light up a whole building, but if you need to find something in your bag or your car, or if you're clearing your house, think there's someone inside or something, that's gonna light up a hallway. It's enough for that. But it's very reliable. It's very, very good little flashlight. I like a lot. This little pouch here, it runs all the way almost the length of the entire bag, but it's just as wide as this Molly is right here. Inside, I have these Clorox to-go wipes. I use these probably more than anything in this bag, just because I have a kid now, and because my job and everything else, these come in handy very often. I have to get a lot of these a lot. Other than that, I have these hand and toe warmers since it is getting winter now. I have these in case you get stuck in traffic or for whatever reason. Obviously, have these. It's good to have. I have a bandana, 100 different things for that. You can use for different things. Then I have a Silcock key. I have kind of a wide variety of things as far as either urban or rural type things, because I do live about 15-20 minutes away from a mid-sized city, but I also work about 15 minutes in the opposite direction in like the country. So I have a mixture of things I might need, like a Silcock key if I need water, just because I do pass on my way back home. If I do have to walk or just even driving, I go by a lot of kind of busier streets and businesses and whatnot. So there also is a way to get back on the back roads or through the woods or whatnot. But I have things for both situations, depending on which way I need to go. So that's it for this pocket here. It actually fits quite a good bit of stuff in here. And it's not too full and overpacked and exploding and bulging out. Saying that, inside this little kangaroo pouch here, it's got 4 little attachments. These 2 are the buckles on top, and you do have to take these 2 buckles out to access the entire main pocket. There is a zipper up top that is covered for helping with waterproof. well, it's more water repellent. You can access the entire, well, you can access the top of the main compartment, but it's mainly if you need something off top instead of going through the entire bag. So that's handy. But if you do want to get through the entire, fold out like a clamshell like it does, you do have to take these off. But this is like a kangaroo pouch here that you can expand. Obviously, there's little bungee cords on the side you can expand out. You want to put a bump helmet in there, if you want to put extra clothing, whatever it is you need to put in here. I just have this, I don't know if you want to call it a scarf or what. It's a Duracool, something like that, Realtree scarf type thing. Basically what it is mainly for hot weather. It's very thin material. You just like kind of get it wet, put it on your neck, just like that. Put it on your neck and it keeps you cool. At the same time, if you need to, you can put it over your neck and you can cover your face, kind of like a mask. It's obviously not going to be anywhere, you know, as good as an actual mask. It's not going to obviously protect you from things like chemicals or anything like that, but at the same time, it's better than nothing if this is all you have. At the same time, you can get a napkin or a towel or whatever else and put that with this. That's obviously better than nothing. But in whatever case you need to, if you feel like you need to, you can also use it as a mask to cover up your face so no one can tell who you are. If you're like in like a riot kind of thing, you're trying to get home, or for whatever reason, you can use that as well if that's what you think you need to do. So there's that right there. I have a little chem light. This is a white one. I've had several different colors, but I have this one here just on the outside. Then I have a little wrapped up roll of zip ties. Very handy. Most of you know those things it can be used for. And a roll of electrical tape. I like electrical tape more than anything else just because it's small, compact, easy to carry. It's very tough and durable. It sticks really well to almost anything. But it's just, to me, there's more pros than cons for this opposed to like duct tape or Gorilla tape or anything like that. So that's what I keep in this front pouch right here. Not too much. But saying that, to this other side over here, put this up here a little bit. Obviously you can tell, like I said, there's them all the way down. In this pocket, I like how there's two zippers so you can have a little bit of OCD. So you can, instead of having to move one zipper all the way around to the outside, you can either just do one side or not. Well, that's just me. I do have 2 extra magazines in here for my Glock 19 that I carry on me. It's Hornady ammo in here. Then I have a Right in the Rain pen and notebook. That's obvious reasons why you have that and what you can do with that. My backup knife, folding knife, would be a Zero Tolerance ZT301. It is a very heavy duty knife, but it's very, very good. It's very sharp. I've only sharpened it once, probably in the 4 years I've had it. It's a very good knife to have. If I'm feeling tough and wearing my cowboy boots, I'll keep this on my person every day. But at the same time, I like to keep something a little bit smaller because it is a little heavy, but it is very tough, and I do like to carry it around every once in a while because it's such a good knife. So I have that as my backup. I have some playing cards in here as well. This is good for multiple reasons, mostly for morale. Like if I have kids, get stuck in traffic or something like that, it keeps them entertained. Also, shuffling the cards and things like that kind of keeps me calm, and it kind of gets my mind off things and lets me focus on a few things. So that's as well. Obviously, if you just have game night, you want to go to your friend's house, so obviously you have some cards. So there's multiple reasons for that. And then I do have, in this last pocket, I have it's a Lux Pro LP 600, which I'm not sure why it's called that because it's only like 325 lumen. But at the same time, it's pretty decent. It's not too expensive. I think it's around $15, maybe 20. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I bought it, but it's a pretty good flashlight. It lights up the whole room. There's a bright, a mid, and a strobe setting, so that comes in handy. And that is it. It does have these 2 elastic straps there to help organize things a little bit better. Moving on to the back, it has this nice yoke right here on the straps, kind of like the 511 bags that they have. It's got that. It's got a nice little pouch through here, and holy crap, I just found out what that's for. We'll go ahead and add this in a second. But it's got straps all the way down the straps. I'm sorry. attachment points all the way down the straps here in case you want to attach any kind of gear, anything like that. Another little attachment point here. Got a nice sternum strap that is elastic for more comfort. It does have these two quick release buckles here in case it gets caught up and you have to ditch it real fast. It does have a very nice back panel. It's very comfortable, but it also has a lot of grooves, obviously, for helping with sweating. I sweat a lot, and I can't think of one time where my back is sweating when I was actually using this. So that says a lot. It does come with a waist belt here. I took it off because everyday use it's just kind of in the way and too much, and I don't need it. So I took it off, but I do have it in the back in case if I know I'm going to make a longer trip or something like that. It's got a hydration pouch or pocket here that has it's lockable. You can put a little lock right there. You can open it up, opens up 3/4 of the way. All I have back here, I used to have two of these extra long zip ties. I used to actually had to use one recently, so that's why I only have one in there right now. I do have a water repellent map of the Southeast, the South and Florida. So apparently it's two different things. But it's all I need really. If I know I'm going to go somewhere else other than past Dallas or above the bottom line of to Kentucky or whatnot, I'll get another map. But for right now, this is all I really need. We do take a trip to Austin quite frequently, and it's just outside of Austin. But at the same time, I'm pretty familiar with that area. So I can if I'm staying there for a long period of time, I can obviously, like I said, get another one. But it highlights the major cities in the Southeast too, so it helps out a lot. I like to have that. And then I only have one pack of tuna in here right now. Like I said, we just got back from Texas actually a day or two ago. So I actually had to go into my supply and use some of it. But I have one now. I'm about to resupply here today or tomorrow probably. So that's it for the back. So I was saying about this strap up here. This pocket, for the longest time, I had no clue this was supposed to be for a hydration pack. There's a little Velcro strap up here to hang one, but I could not find the hole for the hydration, like the tube. Until just now when I found this, I found that this actually goes all the way through. That blows my mind. I've been looking at that forever. So now that I know that's there, you can use that. This is nice, pretty nice. It's not super thick, but it's also not thin. It's a nice breathable material where it's pretty comfortable. So I like that. On this other side here, this will sit up by itself. This is my 511 IFAC pouch. Sorry about my chair, it's just started getting squeaky, it's kind of old. But I have also this black diamond carabiner on this side is weight bearing if I need to use it for whatever reason. There's another grab handle on this side. So on this IFAC pouch, I just have a blue pen on the outside of it, a Sharpie, pretty much right on any surface. That's why I included in all my first aid kits. But what I like about this bag, or this pouch, whatever you want to call it, it obviously has a laser cut MOLLE on front with little pouches here, little aisles here. It's got MOLLE on the side too. What I like about it is it's like I think it's the Van Quest, I think it is, where it's like a quick pull. You just rip it and it just opens up automatically instead of having to full with a bunch of different stuff. It's a very well kept little pouch here. But like I said, show you here, just unzip it, pull it down, and that's it. I'm not going to go through everything in here, just kind of tell you there's nitrile gloves, there's a collapsible CPR mask, there's some ACE bandage, Israeli bandage, cat tourniquet, and then some smaller stuff back here for like everyday stuff like Band-Aids, Neosporin type things, burn ointment, just little stuff like that. I used to have a syringe in there because I thought, maybe you never know if you might need one. I don't think I have one in there anymore, but I have a scalpel in there too. A little package, keep it sterile. Don't really ever see me needing that, but in case I'm up on a traffic stop, like a wreck or something, and someone's up there and knows how to use it or something that needs to, I have one just in case. I do have a couple of medical shears here, as well as right here there is it's a large plastic tweezers, a couple other small medication stuff in there as well. But that's it for that pretty much. I'm not going to go into too much detail. The cool thing I like about this, like I said, there's a little slot sleeve right here, a pocket. You can put a water bottle or anything in. Before I put this on there, it was inside my bag. I liked it, but at the same time, I like to be as low profile as possible, so it's very clean and narrow and whatnot. But at the same time, just this little pouch, which is probably a couple ounces, it's under a pound for sure. But this whole entire setup is under 15 pounds, and with this inside, it just felt so much heavier, and it was obviously filling up the main compartment more. So I put it on the outside for a second time because the first time it just didn't look right. I didn't like it. It was too bulky and it wiggled around too much. But I restrapped the molly back here a little differently, so it's a lot more secure now. And also, I liked it because this pouch, this is where I keep my wallet. And before I said that, you probably didn't even know it was there because it goes below the line of this pouch, and this is here, so it doesn't pull the pocket out very much at all. So unless you're looking for it, you're not really going to find it. But I like having my wallet kind of concealed right there, and it's smooth and easy, nice to get in and out of there. So there's that. That's everything on the outside in this pocket here. So starting on this small pocket, I just have a Bic lighter. I have the rubber band around it so it doesn't leak the fuel in here. And obviously you have a rubber band as well. So that's good uses. I have 2 things of Advil, one for me, and then one for if someone needs it. I can just give them a little packet here instead of having to get mine out and waste mine. Don't ask me what kind this is because I actually won it. I didn't win it. It was like a free gift for opening up a bank account at one of my banks. It works okay, but it works perfect for being free. As you can see there, it's fully charged. It works pretty decent. I tested it one time. I had about 5% battery, and I charged it all the way to this doesn't have any juice anymore, and it charged it up to about 25 to 30%. So it's more than enough to make a couple phone calls, or like you look up your GPS real fast. That's actually quite a bit of battery that, especially on the iPhone, that lasts a little bit longer. So that's just enough. I might get a better one here soon. I do have a better one in my other bag, my bigger bag, but at the same time, that's small and sleek, so it doesn't take up much space and it's very lightweight. So I do have the cables to charge my phone, the cables to charge this, and the little cube and a small little pack I have in here. I'll show you that in a second. So I have everything I need for that. These 2, I got at work. It's just like pain relief little packets. They're pretty much basically both like icy hot. This one's more so because you can actually feel they're really hot than really cold. But this one, the Sombra, is more. It's like icy hot, but it's more of you can't really feel the temperature much at all. This one works a little bit better for me, but there's 2 of them here just in case. It's not for major pain. It's just if you have like a small backache or you wake up with a crick in your neck or something like that, and it kind of helps you temporarily relieve a little bit. Just one packet alone could probably last me 3 times a day, just because it doesn't take much unless your entire body is hurting and you have to rub it all over your whole body. That's a different thing, but usually it's just like one shoulder or one spot in your back or whatever. So that's why this alone could last me probably 2 or 3 applications, and then I have obviously 2 different kinds. I have pretty bad allergies. I had bad allergies when I was a little kid, and they kind of went away, but then I moved to where I am now in the environment, and it was a record high pollen count when I moved here. They kind of came back a little bit, not near as much as they were, but they came back. So I had this multi-action eye allergy from Visine. It's obviously for that reason, but also if anybody, if they get something stuck in their eye or something like that, they can rehydrate with this and get something out. So I have that. I have 2 forms of chapstick, kind of back and forth because I love Carmex. I don't really use any of this that much, but I have it just because, like I said, this is getting colder weather, so it's a little windier too. And at my job, my lips have been a lot more chapped lately. I do like this, but at the same time, it's kind of like that jelly type that everyone knows. So if it's really hot, it gets really liquidy and just like pours out. But if it's cold, it'll kind of freeze up, and the tip of it will kind of freeze like a little block, and it takes a second to get some of it out. And when it does, it just shoots out like a bullet. And then I have this one I recently just put in here just to kind of test it out. It obviously can melt and freeze too, but not as fast or as easy as this. So I'm just kind of put these in there just to kind of see what I want. So that's it. And that felt line little pocket here. Not too much, but just enough. There's a couple small things in there to keep. Moving on to the main compartment. Like I said, you have to take these 2 buckles out to access the entire main compartment. Unzip here. I want to see if I can set it up here and pull it out. I don't have my gun fall out. So this is the Glock 19 that I have. I'm not going to pull it out. I mean, this is a regular Glock 19. It does have the night sights. I have an extra little larger grip, like a ducktail type thing here to fit my hand better. I do have the Black Hawk Kydex little holster. There we go. And then they're a Blackhawk like Tech Lock kind of version. I'm not sure what kind of model, what they call it, but it's pretty much just like a Tech Lock. It's very handy and attaches to the belt really well. So I take that with me. Because it's cold, I have these two little Realtree set of gloves. They're not anything special. I got them at Walmart a while back, but they are just enough to keep me cold. I don't live in Antarctica, so this is more than enough to keep my hands warm until my car warms up. And a nice Carhartt toboggan. In this little pouch, it is a Sea to Summit little dump pouch type thing. I just kind of lock this up a little bit just to keep it tied. Well, not tied, but secure. So in here, I have an emergency blanket for obvious reasons. I do have, I thought there's actually two, but there's actually four in here. These little masks, which actually works out because me, my fiance, and my baby boy, this is obviously a little bit big for him, but you can also, it's better than nothing. You can kind of maybe work it, fix it to where it does fit him. Then I have an extra one in case someone else is with us, like a family member or a friend or whatever else. So I do have four of these in case for any reason we need them. I have this in here. I've been wanting to take this out just because it's not heavy and it doesn't really take up much space, but at the same time, I don't want too much. But then I don't just because it's an extra carabiner. It's not weight bearing. I mean, 75 pounds, but not much. I'm not going to go climbing with it. But it's another way to attach things or hold things or secure things. And then there's probably 30 feet or so of paracord in here of different strengths. So I just keep it just because it's not getting in the way too much and it's not heavy or anything. But I really debate trying to take it out just because. I have a couple cosmetic things in here. Got some toothpaste, another thing of Visine Clear Eyes type. I have, what do you call that? Floss. I have shampoo, I have scope, and I have soap in here. That's just a couple things I never use, but I have just in case I get stuck for business or something like that. I do have, outside of my first aid, I just have in here because it's not very common, and I know how to like look for snakes and identify them and stuff. So I have a snake poison kit right there. Athletic tape, just a little bit, and I have I don't really need this, but I like to have it. It's obviously a metal can, a cup. You can boil water, you can keep things in, and I only have it just because I fit all this in here, so it doesn't take up much space, and it keeps it kind of secure and protected. But it is kind of good to have this in case you do have to stop and boil water or eat or whatever reason. And then lastly in here I have stormproof matches. I recently just picked these up. I've not used them yet. I've never used them, but I've heard some good things about them, so I picked these up and see what those are like. So obviously, you're the saying that 2 is 1, 1 is none. I kind of like to go by that. You'll see I have, I think, 4 ways of making fire in this kit. And I have a few different ways to make a few other things too. I like to be as minimalist as possible, but since all these little fire things, they're so small and lightweight, it's not going to hurt me at all. So that's why I have so many. But I like to keep a few things like that, especially things that I need. Like fire is a very important quality to have. If you can see on the inside here before I get to this, there is felt all the way around the side of this. You're going to use this you can put Velcro things on the side. There's a very large drainage hole in the very bottom right here. There's 2 cinch little things down here, as you can see. They don't work too well because they loosen up very easily, which obviously they're not going to do it now because it's on camera. But I'll tighten these up, and then at the end of the day, I'll come back out here, and they're all the way loose like that. I mean, I don't know why. I feel like they're pretty decent design, just like any other buckle and clip, whatever, but you never know. And then in the back, there's like a laptop sleeve with a little Velcro secure area here. I do keep back here my Gerber. I'm pretty sure it's a strong arm too. I only keep this. It's probably my least expensive knife. I like quality things, and I like good stuff, especially if it's a tool or a knife or something I'm gonna depend my life on. But at the same time, for the money that this thing is, it's a pretty decent knife. It's full tang, which I would never buy a fixed blade knife that's not full tang. It's got a window breaker with a lanyard hole. It's a decent grip for what it is. And the main thing I like about it is it has a 90-degree edge where you can strike a fire steel with it. And it's decently sharp. It's not gonna, do crazy things, but it is good enough just to keep. And it is, since it is so low profile and so lightweight, that's why I keep it in here, to have a small fixed blade in this pack. I don't necessarily super need it because that folding knife I have is very heavy duty and will do most of the things that I will have to do on an everyday basis, but it's always good to have something like this. Also, I have these two mechanics gloves. It seems like everyone and their mother has mechanics gloves in their bag. I don't use these too much, but I have them just in case, and you change a tire or whatever reason. I did cut the top half of the finger off here for a trigger finger in case it is cold and I do have to use self-defense. Hopefully not, but if I do have to, it comes to that, it's a little bit easier to feel the grip and texture and be more accurate with that, because I'm not really a big fan with shooting with the gloves on. It's just not comfortable to me and whatnot. So I think, pretty sure that's it. Yep, that's it back there. Not too many things. And then this one's just a Camelback water pouch. It's got obviously mono compatible one on the front. Did actually break one of these little tabs here, but it still works, so it's not gonna do anything. Inside, I have my mini Sawyer. Got the syringe, got the little straw Sawyer, the pouch, and all that, everything you need in this. So like I said, so I have that Silcock key for like if I have to go to the urban area and find some water, but I have this, and I have one other form of way to purify water in case I need that. So that's why, so if I'm in the country or if I'm in, walking through the woods, I have to get home that way, I have this, and then I have some water purification tablets. Those two sources, get some water, clean water, it's very important obviously. And then if I go to the urban areas, and it's a little bit easier and faster for the Silcock key to use that. So that's why I have all three of those. I have the toothbrush, which I'm trying to find. I cannot, save my life, I cannot find one of those little small mini toothbrushes, so I'm going to replace this with one of those here soon. I have that. I have there it goes. A large, heavy-duty trash bag. I have that plus two rubber bands here to keep it together. Everyone's like, oh, you need one of these, and I do. I've always had one in my bag. I've never had to use one, though, until recently I went camping, and it just poured down rain and whatnot, and we were fine. We stayed dry, but the water washed down through under the tent, and it got all muddy, so the tent got real muddy, and having to deal with that, I just didn't want to kind of get messy putting it together, so I just took it and dumped it in the trash bag, and then put it in my car, and kept everything clean and nice, so I use it for that. So here, this is a Hydro Pack. It's a 2-liter collapsible water bottle. It's actually very sturdy. It has a nice contact little, what do you call it, lid. I'm losing my words here. And then it has a couple little attachment points, like you can put a little carabiner or string or rope or whatnot to keep it. It's actually kind of very sturdy. Kind of surprised actually. Then I have these old Bushnell 10x25 binoculars. I don't really use these that much unless I'm hiking. It's not gonna, I'm not gonna go sniping with it. But at the same time, it's better than nothing. It's lightweight, so I keep it in here in case I need to look ahead for some reason. In the front here, I don't know if we can see this. Yeah, I'll turn it this way. So in the front here, I have another. This is a red Chem Light. This is a larger Sharpie I have right there. I can't put it back in here. Just the lid always gets in the way. In the back here, there's two little pockets behind these mesh pockets. This is my Leatherman rebar. I actually just picked this up yesterday on Black Friday, just because I had a Gerber multi-tool, but my buddy left it on his back porch, and it got all exposed and it got pitted and rusted and whatnot. So I wanted to get one for a while, and I finally did yesterday. It was almost half off, so I couldn't pass that up. So I got that. I'm not really a big fan of leather, especially sheaths like this, but it's a decent little sheath. I don't mind it. It's very small and compact, so that's why I don't mind it at all. Keep that back here. Here, I'm sure everyone's probably seen these little Bear Grylls type survival pack things. I got this a long time ago when they first came out, pretty much, and I just kept it because at the time I didn't really know much about all this kind of stuff. So I've added a few things to it. I'm not gonna take it all out. It's just added a poncho to it. Inside here, there's like a bunch of wet fire tablet things, and there's some like hooks and fishing line. There's a small little Gerber folding knife. There's a little survival, little instructional type thing. There's another little big lighter in there, and things like that. Just small things to have. It's lightweight, so why not? It's not gonna break my back. And that just fits right in there. Well, it does until I'm on video, obviously. So that goes there. In this little pouch here, I have Germex. I use this quite a bit too, because the kid, obviously, that's about 3/4 full there. It's good to have. Knife sharpener. I don't use that too much. And these are those cables for the battery charger I was talking you about. And that's it in that pouch. In this one here, I have a cheap whistle that actually came in that Bear Grylls pack. I just keep it because it's, you know, the only whistle I have. It's kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it's a decent sound, other times it sounds like a dying cat. But it's better than nothing, so I keep that a little bit more accessible than in that little pouch there. And then this is that water purification tablets here. So last two pockets are down here. It's kind of weird. There's two separate pockets right here, but there's only one zipper. So to get to this patch, you have to open the entire thing. It's not a deal breaker. It's kind of weird, but that's how it goes. And this one I have 75 feet of this polyester, a little thin, a little string. It's not gonna, you know, obviously, I'm not gonna repel with it, but at the same time, it's good for small little things like cinching up a shelter or something like that. It's good to have. It's lightweight. Then I have a little bit heavier duty paracord for a little bit heavier duty stuff than that little small thing. And obviously another rubber band in case I have to, like, you know, break I wear boots every day, hiking boots or, you know, work boot type stuff. So it's good to have in case a shoelace breaks or something like that. This other side, I have the belt clip for my Gerber fixed blade. This is my other form of fire. I have a fire steel that has its own striker on it. I think, yes it does. This striker is the one that has the whistle inside of it. So that's kind of handy. It works just about as good as that other one does. But two whistles, fire steel. And that is it. So, that is the bag. Zip this up a little bit. You can kind of see the shape again. Like I said, everyone has something different. Everyone needs different things. They have different skill sets. You might have things around you that you can easily pick up that you don't need in your bag. And oh yeah, I forgot, there's two little cinch points down here you can attach, like a sleeping bag or blanket. And there's also a grab handle on the bottom. I'm not sure why. I guess just because if it's upside down, maybe to grab it, but I guess it's just a good thing to have. But there's that, and there's the drainage hole right there. It's a nice little waterproof, rubberized, textured bottom to it. But yeah, like I said, everyone has their own skill set and things that they need in the areas and stuff. Obviously, people who live in the mountains of Colorado is not going to have the exact same stuff as someone who lives in Texas, you know. So that's what I have in here. I'm open to suggestions. I'm always changing and moving things around. Like I said, there's a few things missing, a few things that I would either put in or take out on a normal basis. But for the most part, this is what it is. Like I said, great bag. I actually use it a lot. People is like, oh, you just have that sitting around. And a lot of people don't realize there's some things that you have in there to check expiration dates, like your medication and food and things like that. You need to check that regularly. And also, like, things you need to go through this all the time to know what exactly is in your bag, where it is in case of emergency. So you're not fooling around, trying to look around, trying to find one small piece. You need to know exactly where it is in case your life does depend on it. You need to know where it is and find it right away. Other than that, if you have any suggestions or anything, let me know. As long as you're not being a dick, and just going off the wall and totally talking crap, I'm just going to ignore it. But if you have any suggestions that might make sense, please explain why, and why I having something in here is wrong, or why you think it might be something better for something else. Or if you have like an upgrade for something else, like a whistle. I know there's better whistles out there. If you have one you like and whatever, let me know and I'll check it out and see what I know to do with it. Same thing with masks. I've been looking for a couple new masks lately. Well, other than that, just let me know. I look forward to hearing from you, and maybe here soon I'll be doing another review on some of my other bags or equipment or anything like that. Other than that, I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. If you want to like the video, and like I said, leave a comment if you feel like you need to. Thanks.